intention was firstly to present this paper, this talk in Dutch, and I prepared for Dutch. It took me a long time to make it in Dutch. But lately they said we have got friends from Latin America, from Bolivia, from other countries, Spanish-speaking countries. So they asked me to present it in English. So I hope you don't mind, and I'm sure all of you can follow this presentation in English. I'm very happy to continue our discussion formally, informally later. Tehran, 11 February 1979. It was a daybreak when, together with my friend Peyman, we arrived at Baharistan Square. A square in the heart of Tehran, where the Iranian parliament is located. The uprising in the city began the previous day, when the low-rank Air Force military servicemen with blackened face had ridden up on their motorcycle during one of the everyday street demonstrations, bringing the news of the victory of the revolution. It was after this that the streets were barricaded and people began patrolling the street leading to eastern Tehran. That was the icon of the final uprising. It seems that the revolution was made. In Baharistan Square, I saw the crowds were moving in waves. The gate of the police station was wide open. The entrance courtyard covered with a scattered official police paper, a sign that the crowd who was now gathered at the pedestrian are talking about their victory had seized the police station hours ago. An old woman was briskly coming out of the police station carrying a steel table on her head. Behind her came an old man with two foldable chairs under his arm, both in rush, but indifferent to the observer, as if they were more worried about losing their loot than any objection that someone might make to their plunder. Is this what I have expected from a political revolution or uprising? I was deep in my thoughts when from the crowd within the tumult, I heard the voice of a man with a strong northern Iranian Gilaki accent saying, "Brothers, brothers!" I turned back and saw his face. A small man of 50 or so. What he was saying? What did you want? His voice became gradually louder. "Brothers, let's go there." Where? He pointed to the National Parliament, in the corner of the square. "Let's pull down an emblem that is the sign of tyranny." That is a sign of tyranny. Later, the uproar of crowds filled the air. "Let's go! Let's go! Come on, let's go! Down with tyrants! Down heard a whisper close to me. The whisper sounded angry or frustrated, or maybe both. I looked back and saw a middle-aged man standing behind me. It seems he was whispering something to himself, to me. I don't know, but whatever he's saying could be heard better now. What is the problem with Constitution Parliament? There is no one to ask this crazy crowd, what is their problem with the Parliament and its emblem? I felt weak at the knee. He was right. Why the Constitution emblem should be taken down? In my primary and high school books, I had read a lot about this Parliament and its emblem. While reading, I had been always filled with pride, and now, in a blink of an eye, this crowd wanted to bring it down. The voice of the middle-aged man behind me was louder. Is there no one to stop them? To stop the crowd? Is it possible to stop the crowd, especially one as incited as this one? Is the middle-aged man addressing me? What could be expected from a young lad like me who is facing a crowd whose average age is probably 10, 15 years older than him? How? How could I tell this frenzied crowd not to do this to their own history? But I felt the responsibility of the middle-aged man on my shoulder. Perhaps he was me. He was me, middle-aged, me he was. I looked to my friend Premon, who might be able to find a way out, but he was as desperate as I was. I only perceived a sense of hopelessness on his face. It looked as if we were both petrified by a crowd. What should we do? What could we do? I looked again at the middle-aged man who was not looking down. It was as if he did not want to share his helplessness with me. We had to do something. But what could we do? I jumped on the roof of a car, which was parked on the side of the street, and shouted, "People! People! Don't go! Don't do that! You are not against the Constitution. That is the emblem of the Constitution. You remember our father brought this for us by fighting the ancien regime. Be aware, there might be provocateurs who want to stain the revolution. Watch out for the enemies. Don't go there. Don't do that." Still, standing on the roof of the car, staring at the iron pride, I remember what I had read about the French Revolution. About two French Revolution of 1789 and 1830, and later Russian Revolution of 1917. With great relish, together with my comrade, we had read about the role of crowd in French Revolution by Georges Joudet, and admired it, and later the history of 1830 French Revolution by David Pinckney. The role of crowd in connection with societal and political events in various societies has been studied as a sub-discipline of social history for about 100 years. Gustave Le Bon was the first psychologist who carried out such a study, although he considered the crowd as little more than a vociferous mob. If the role they played was worthy of attention or documentation at all, it was a destructive one. Following Le Bon, others such Georges Lefebvre and Georges Roudet investigated the role of the crowd in the French Revolution. What distinguished Roudet's work from Le Bon is not only the fact that he drew attention to the agency of people in the French Revolution, but also that he suggests a country and different nature of the crowd from which Le Bon described. In Roudet's commentary, the crowd is neither acting out of ordinary nor unpredictable. Although by highlighting the agency of crowd in completing the transition of the major socio-political events, Georges Roudet admits that it has a goal in social context. He believes it is a legitimate act. Thus, perhaps our redefinition of the crowd as a mixture of different groups of the people may help us to redefine our understanding of the role of this phenomena in social change. In the crowds of Le Bon, the crowd are an amalgamation of different groups within which lies the potential mob. In socio-political events such as revolution, they can abandon ethics and are capable of destroying and violating the accepted social norms. In these circumstances, they feel they do not have any moral obligation to uphold a set of moral values, a definition that Emil Durkheim generally agrees with. However, in Roudet's definition, the crowd is an integrated human group woven together with definable and thus predictable political demand. According to Roudet, the crowd is a combination of political and religious groups which have appeared in a political arena, perhaps because of a shared and rather unstable political situation. Whilst in Le Bon definition, the mob is mobile vulgus. I'm still in Baharistan Square, standing on the roof of the car, parked at the side of the street. What do I see now? No, I can't believe it. Before the final words are come out of my mouth, I saw the same crowd who were ready to take down the emblem of the Constitution in a blink of an eye, are now laying into the guillotine man just in the blink of an eye. You damn Saraki, you agent of the secret police, you had it, damn you! Saraki? Agent of secret police? Who? Which Saraki? But I never said this unfortunate man is Saraki. I didn't want him to be beaten, to get beaten. What could I do now? I looked down to see if the middle-aged man can help me. But there was no trace of him, as if he was never there. What could I do now? I jump down and find my way amongst the crowd towards the guillotine man, whose face was now covered with blood. Leave him alone! I've never said this unfortunate man is Sabaki. Let him go. Don't beat him. Go now. Don't stay here. Go. I'm talking to you. Go. Go. The poor man, his face ashen, pulled him out of the crowd. I heard his cry that he had made a mistake and swear to God that he is not Sabaki. He went and disappeared. I the rest saw it. The face of the old man and woman who were looting, and then the Gilaki man who was calling for destruction, and the crowd wanting both destruction and the same time with the revolution as their goal. I thought about all. I still think about all, that even after 39 years. Crowds of which Lobos painted a dark picture and which Rude praised. I understood the crowds reading Lobon and Rude, and together with Balzac, I explored Paris and Souvlaki. But Baharistan at 6 a.m., February 11, 1979, was my own experience. Thank you.